Saturday night, March 29th, 2008. São Paulo, Brazil.
Polícia Militar Emergência.
Pelo amor de Deus, filha. Rua Santa Leocádia, 138. Tem ladrão no prédio, jogaram uma criança dela de cima, pelo amor de Deus.
Leocádia, número?
138.
138. Jogaram de que endereço? Da altura?
Do 6º andar, pelo amor de Deus, jogaram a criança dela de cima. Tem ladrão dentro do prédio. Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Que passa? Santa Leocádia.
Santa Leocádia, 138, bem. Pelo...
Oh, meu Deus.
Pelo amor de Deus, filha.
Eu tenho cada...
Olha se tá escutando, bem.
Estou ouvindo. Pode aguardar a viatura.
Saturday night, March 29th, 2008. São Paulo, Brazil. The Edifizio London is an upper-middle-class apartment building in a quiet, leafy neighborhood. It's the kind of place where people move to feel safe. But at 11:49 p.m., that safety shattered. A sound echoed through the building's courtyard. A dull, heavy thud that shouldn't have happened. Down below, on the cold grass near the swimming pool, lay 5-year-old Isabella Nardoni. She had fallen 6 stories from her father's apartment window. When the first responders arrived, they found a chaotic scene. Isabella's father, Alexandre Nardoni, was frantic. He was screaming that a burglar, an intruder dressed in black, had broken into the apartment and thrown his daughter to her death. It was a horrific tragedy, a parent's worst nightmare. But as police stepped inside apartment 62, the nightmare changed shape. Isabella was a bright, beloved 5-year-old, caught in the middle of a common modern arrangement. Her parents were divorced. She lived with her mother, but spent alternate weekends with her father, Alexandre, his new wife, Carolina Jatobá, and their 2 younger sons. That night, the sequence of events seemed routine. The family was returning from a dinner at Isabella's grandmother's house. They arrived at the Edifizio London shortly before midnight. Isabella was already asleep in the back seat. According to Alexandre's initial statement to the police, this is what happened. He carried the sleeping Isabella up to the 6th floor, while his wife and sons waited in the car in the garage. He took Isabella to the guest room, placed her in bed, locked the apartment door, and went back down to help the rest of his family. It was a 10-minute window. 10 minutes that Alexandre was downstairs. When he returned with his wife and sons, he claimed he noticed something wrong. The front door he had just locked was unlocked. He told police he ran to the guest room. The bed was empty, and the unthinkable became clear. The safety netting on the window had been cut open. Alexandre looked down and saw his daughter 6 floors below. He began to scream. The story was tragic, simple, and terrifying. A random maniac had stalked the family, slipped in during that 10-minute window, and committed an act of pure evil before vanishing. Brazil, a country familiar with urban violence, was ready to believe him. The nation mourned with the father, until the forensics team turned on the Luminol lights. The story of the intruder had immediate cracks. The building had security cameras and a doorman. No one suspicious had entered or left around midnight. But the real story was written in blood inside apartment 62. Using Luminol, forensic experts found traces of blood that had been hastily cleaned up. But this blood wasn't just near the window. It started at the front door. Drops leading into the living room. Smears on the hallway floor. Blood on a diaper found in the laundry area. And most devastatingly, tiny drops of Isabella's blood in the parents' bedroom and on the steering wheel of their car. The autopsy revealed an even darker truth. The injuries from the fall were catastrophic, yes, but Isabella had other injuries. Injuries that happened before she went out the window. Medical examiners found signs of manual strangulation on her neck. They found a small wound on her forehead that matched a ring Alexandre wore. The timeline shifted violently. The evidence suggested Isabella wasn't sleeping peacefully when she arrived. She was likely already unconscious, injured in the car during an argument on the way home. The police theory crystallized into a chilling narrative. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong. This was a domestic dispute that spiraled into murder. The investigators believed Anna Carolina, the stepmother, strangled Isabella in a fit of rage, perhaps in the car, perhaps just inside the apartment. Thinking the child was dead, the couple made a horrifying decision to cover up the crime. They decided to stage a break-in. It was Alexandre, her own father, who allegedly took the scissors, cut the safety net, picked up his 5-year-old daughter, and threw her into the void. They didn't know she was still technically alive when she fell. When the forensic evidence became public, Brazil's sympathy turned into pure, molten rage. The Nardoni case became the biggest media circus in the country's history. How could a father do this? How could a stepmother participate? Throughout the investigation and the 2010 trial, Alexandre and Anna Carolina maintained their innocence. They stuck to the intruder story, showing little emotion, even as the forensic evidence piled up against them mountains high. The jury didn't buy it. They were both convicted of homicide. The judge called their actions calculated cruelty. The Nardoni case changed Brazil. It forced a nation to look into the mirror and realize that sometimes the monsters aren't hiding in the shadows outside. Sometimes they are the ones tucking you into bed. This is just one of countless stories buried in South America. Every week, we will uncover another case the world has forgotten. Subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next.